Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music. And if you've been following along the past couple of weeks, you know I've been interested in melody. And sometimes we've done some pretty complicated things with the past few lessons, but this week I've decided to take the knob and turn it from 11 back down to 2. So we're going to use the easiest, most accessible scale I know, the pentatonic scale, only 5 notes. Every note sounds good, along with 4 chord pop progressions, just taken, ripped from the headlines, so to speak, right? You don't have to work too hard to guess what they might be. I, I was surprised, you might be surprised, at how compelling the music, the resultant music can be. I was kind of delighted by this. I've got 6 easy examples. These are from my shorts, but let's break them down in detail today. Well, first of all, if you've been getting something out of these videos, you've seen 1 or 2, and they're useful to you and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Comments are great for the channel, and I do, kind of want to know what's up with you. It really helps me shape what I'm going to be teaching and looking at next. I hope we're building a community of composers, producers, songwriters who try to use music theory not in an academic way, but in a way to further their own musical goals, to sort of get their own thing happening. I've said this a billion times. I really believe this. I hope this is music theory for everyone. Listen, to that end, a quick review of kind of my MO for the week. Let me show you what I mean. Now, you probably remember that the pentatonic scale consists of a series of 5 notes that might look like that in the key of C. Now, what I've done is to take 2 of those notes from the C scale and eliminate them. You can see them there in white. These 2 notes here are the tritone from the scale. Now, there's something really kind of weirdly symmetrical about saying, those 2 notes that make the tritone, let's eliminate them. And that's what I've done. So a pentatonic scale will kind of like always sound good over diatonic chords from that scale. I don't really have to think about it. I can count on it, you know what I mean? And it works in every key. It works if the chord progression is leaning more towards the minor than the major. It just plain works. I have songwriter friends who really kind of only think in the pentatonic scale, kind of no matter how involved the chord progression might be. And it definitely can work. As a sort of guitar player and soloist, I rely on, because I'm not a good guitar player, rely on the pentatonic scale and those pentatonic shapes. I know how they fit with minor chords, with dominant chords, with major chords, and I just use them. Well, listen, let's take a look at my examples, and we'll sort of pick them apart and see how it works for us. We're going to scoot back to the beginning of this sequence. Well, I've voiced the chords, and just to show you kind of what's happening here, we've got a simple inversion of 4, which is the F chord, inverted with the A in the bass, going to 1, and then 5, going to 6. Well, you can see it's a simple instrumental form. This is what I call an oscillation, just rocking around. Now, the melody is going to lean on the second step of the major scale. I'm still using the C pentatonic, but that D is the center of what I've composed melodically. That D works. It's in the pentatonic scale. It has a relationship to each of the chords. I'm just going to play the D over and over again. This is the magic of the 9th. The magic of the 9th. Kind of a trick, but it's also just super powerful. Let's go on to the next example. I've changed key. We're in the key of D. And I'm going to remind you that the D pentatonic scale uses the same formula: whole step, skip, whole step, skip. Our progression is B minor, G, D, A. And I could call it 6, 4, 1, 5 just as easily. Now, because I've begun this progression on the minor chord in the sequence, I've decided to lean on the B in the melody, and you can see it sitting there being repeated, acting as my axis, my melodic axis for everything that I'm going to do. And it actually sounds a little bit like a minor pentatonic scale, which is the same as the major, just starting in a different place. Let's listen to how this sounds. This instrumental form is a simple triplet. Sounds like Moonlight Sonata, doesn't it? Beautiful, swinging feel. I'm still trying to construct my melodies with good melodic shape. The architecture of the melodies should still exhibit the things that we've been talking about: statements, answers, having a high point, having some kind of contour to the melody that might imply, a narrative of some sort. And yet, because this is a very stable scale in pop chords, the net feeling from something like this is pretty friendly, right? There doesn't seem to be that much peril. There's not a lot of like danger in any of those melodic tones. This is one way to think about composing ambient music. The narrative tension and release, the sense of buildup that is present in the tritone, in the dominant chord, is completely eliminated when you take the tritone out of the scale melodically. Now, I'm still using a 5 chord here, so it still has a little bit of those elements. I'm going to probably talk about sort of ambient theory in more detail in a future video. For the time being, let's go on. So I've switched to the key of B flat, and our chord progression is as follows: B flat major, D minor, G minor, E flat. Another way to think of it is 1, 3, 6, 4. Voicing the chords well. And my figure is a little arpeggio. This melody relies on sort of an iso figure, which just gets moved around, right? That little rhythm. If I'm honest, I want to give this to a top liner or somebody who can write lyrics. I feel like this is the most successful of these little experiments. There's just something really engaging about that melody, right? Anybody out there write lyrics? What's this song about? I can't tell. Let's listen again. You can see the first note, starts off with a B flat chord, but the first note is a C, the ninth, pushing us up to the third. That ninth features, doesn't it? I'm a sucker for the ninth. And then here's the second half, just the tiniest bit different. let's look at our next progression. It's a straightforward one. 1, 5, 2, 6. It's another Taylor Swift progression, isn't it? We're in the key of D, and of course we'll have the D pentatonic scale. And this little figure uses the 6 of the scale, you know, the B, and goes A, B, D a lot. There's something kind of like right here. There's something kind of folky about that, which is appealing, isn't it? And it keeps the 2 minor chords from sounding too sad. You notice my block chords with that little rhythm, bum, 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 bum. That's a very pop rhythm right now. And so there's, again, a little more minor, right? And yet, because we have a little more propulsion, we have that sort of folky, slightly, I'll say bluesy. It's not really bluesy, but it kind of has that vibe, that slightly bluesy sort of thing happening. We don't feel like it's a downer, this rhythm. I like it. That's a lot of fun. Again, just using the pentatonic scale and easy 4-chord progressions. One of the greatest 4-chord progressions, and let's go on, is the Royal Road progression. Listen, this is D flat, E flat, F minor, C minor. However, I am in the key of A flat. There was no A flat chord there at all. So the A flat, the important A flat chords are 1, A flat, 4, D flat, 5, E flat. We'd also expect an F minor, the 6th chord, and here we use the 3 chord C minor as well. And there's something just really beautiful and satisfying. And it's not unusual in pop songwriting to never go to the 1 chord. Maybe we'll do it in the chorus. So here we're going to go D flat to E flat, and then C minor to F minor. I haven't resolved to A flat. And if I go to A flat, can you feel the kind of like almost majesty of that resolution? Well, that's the Royal Road progression. And I've decided melodic axis-wise to begin on the A flat just to emphasize that target. Again, just using the A-flat pentatonic scale. And the instrumental form for this piece is a little bit harder to play. I'm opening the hand to a full octave and then using this combination of 1 and 4 and then 2 and 5 to trill these 6th intervals. So that's a D-flat major chord. That's an E-flat major chord. And with one hand, I can get a propulsive, thick sound. It's not a beginner technique, but it's a really effective instrumental form. Let's go on. We've got one more. And of course, at some level, it's the one you've been waiting for, 1, 5, 6, 4. We are in the key of F. My melodic axis is the A, the 3rd of F major. Relentlessly bright because it's the major 3rd. Also, a little rhythmic turnaround in this melody, which keeps things going. This is the kind of thing you might do if you were doing like background music for an industrial. I'll confess I've used this approach, in my work for casual video underscores and stuff like that. It's bumpa-da, right? It's just kind of relentlessly upbeat. And there's something nice about relentlessly upbeat. I think there's something to be said for just playing chords on quarter notes, right? I like that little rhythmic turnaround. All right, I'm going to stop this because wow, right? Listen, there's a lot of possibilities for us in the conventional pop song 4-chord sequences, and there's a ton of them, right? And these are all 4-chord sequences taken directly from the set of chords that are members of the major scale, the diatonic chords. And I've used the pentatonic scale from the home key of those diatonic chords. In a way, this is like it's level 1, but for me, still satisfying, still compelling, still engaging, and it invites invention through its restriction, right? I had a great time making these examples, and I really hope they've been useful. So as I asked at the beginning of the video, like and subscribe, ding the bell to be notified when I do something new, and I'll see you next time.